Hi guys, I'm Rochelle and I'm a Ravenclaw, and today I'm going to be doing part 1 of my June wrap-up. I read a total of 14 things in the month of June. I'm going to be talking about the first 7 today. I'll be immediately filming part 2 of this wrap-up right after I finish this, and I'll upload that probably the day after this goes up. Again, another 7 books in that one. So we're going to jump straight in, and I'm going to talk about the first 7 books that I read in the month of June. Now, the first 2 books that I read in the month of June are both part of the same series, so I'm going to talk about them as a whole, and hopefully that will save everyone a bit of time. So the first 2 books I read in the month of June was Specials, and then I read Extras by Scott Westfeld. This is book 3 of the Tally Youngblood Uglies dystopian, and this is book 4, which follows a different main character, but Tally does make an appearance in this. I listened to both of these on audiobook. I enjoyed the narrator for Extras a little bit more than I enjoyed the narrator for the rest of the Ugly series. This was the final book in the trilogy, so it wrapped up a lot of loose ends for us. I feel like I waited too long to finally catch up on this series and read it. There was lots of really interesting and important things said in this, but again, I think I missed my window for it. The writing was really good, the ideas were a little simplistic, and there were some things that I wish we had unpacked more. Like, there is a primitive society in here that is kept primitive by the people that run Tally's world, and they make several appearances in this, and we don't really unpack their understanding of the world and why it was wrong for the society to do this to them. So I have a few issues with this series, and I gave these both 3 stars. I really enjoyed the different society that we looked at in this one. Specials follows Tally's city in particular. We go to a new, different city in Extras, and I really enjoyed the examination that it had of social media and how a lot of us are currently living our lives by how we present ourselves on social media and trying to do the coolest, most unique things, and how that has led to the creation of the hipster kind of stuff. So I thought that this was a really interesting social commentary, a little bit more current than the social commentary from Specials, but I think they're both equally valid. Yeah, enjoyed this one slightly more, but still gave them both 3 stars. The next 2 things that I read were also by the same author. So the first one that I read was Flight by Sherman Alexie, and then I read The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian, also by Sherman Alexie. I purchased these on Audible as part of the daily deals thing. I have since spoken or listened to some Native Americans about their thoughts and feelings and opinions on Sherman Alexie and the way that he presents the Native American in there, and I think that definitely has had an influence on how I looked at these. I enjoyed Flight a bit more than I enjoyed The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian, but I found them both to be problematic in their own ways. Flight follows a young Native American who has been put into the foster system, and his resentment towards that leads him to make some not great choices about how he wants to live his life and what he wants to do with it. There was quite a few issues that I had with Native American representation in both of these works. The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian follows a young Native American who goes off the reservation to go to school at a more prestigious and accepted school. None of these have great Native American role model, like parental role models. They're all like displayed as like drunks or gamblers or just like abusive people. So I felt that this was really reinforcing the negative stereotypes that Native American people suffer from. I don't regret listening to them because I think that there is some parts that are definitely valid and definitely should be spoken about and unpacked some more, but I would not recommend these if you are specifically looking for an accurate representation of Native American people. Yeah, I think these are both valid and they both have their places, but that doesn't mean that the ideas and things that are represented in them are not problematic in some portions. So those are my feelings. The next thing that I read in the month of June was Carrier of the Mark by Lee Fallon. This was a cover buy, and I am pleased with how this went for me. I did give this 3 stars, but it does one of the things that I was not expecting it to do, but that I particularly enjoy. It's one of my favorite tropes, I guess you would say. This follows Megan. She is moved from America to Ireland by her father. She started a new school there, and she meets a boy called Adam, and they fall in love, and they may have accidentally fucked some shit up for themselves. One of my favorite tropes that is displayed in this is elemental magic. Like, I really like the idea of, I'm gonna throw one of the more well-known elemental magic things out there. It's kind of like Avatar: The Last Airbender, where certain people have access to certain elemental magic, like someone's water, someone's earth, someone's fire, and someone's air. So I really enjoyed that particular trope. I find those very, very interesting. This was a really easy, quick, fun read, so if you need something just to like give you a little kickstart maybe at the beginning of a month or whatever, I would consider recommending this to you if that's what you like. I mean, I really like this cover and it was a lot of fun to read, so I may pick up the next one in this series. And then I read something that I don't regret reading it, but I am very disappointed with how much I disliked it, and that is Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut. This is just weird. I don't mind a bit of weirdness, but when the piece is written purely to be weird, and it may also be because I listened to this in audiobook, that this was particularly difficult for me, but there was a lot of time changing and I really had difficulty grasping why the author was writing about this particular subject. I'm still not entirely sure what the underlying message or plot was for this, and it was just, I don't know. I don't understand, and that's fine. But I've heard lots of people really, really love Slaughterhouse-Five, and I'm just very confused by it. This follows a man who, like, mentally time travels, like his body stays in the same spot, but mentally he's moving back and forth between different time periods. He's also at some point abducted by aliens. He's also at some point involved in World War II. He's also at some point in a plane crash. And this is not a long book. This is very, very short. It's less than 300 pages and there's so much crammed, like there's so much action and stuff crammed into this that it doesn't really have any substance to me. Like, it goes from action to philosophy without any real transition for the reader to be like, oh, okay, that's why this is here, that's why this is here. So, was not a fan of Slaughterhouse-Five, and I gave it 2 stars. And the final book that I want to talk to you guys about today is Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb, Book 2 in the Farseer trilogy. Finally, some things happened in this that I knew was coming, because if you've been around at all in the fantasy community for any length of time during the last 5 years, you've got a vague idea about some things that happen. I was very excited to see the introduction of a character in this that had been missing from the first book. I am very intrigued to see where this is going, because at this point I'm like 50% on with my predictions for plot progression. So Robin Hobb is doing some things that I'm not expecting, and I am so happy about it. I gave this one 4 stars. Again, it's the expectations for this series are so high for me because so many people rave about it, so many people love it, so many people have recommended the hell out of Robin Hobb to me. But I'm missing out on some things that she begins to incorporate more in her later series. Like, this series is not particularly diverse. There's, as far as I can tell, a lot of cis white males and cis white females, and not a lot of like diversity in any sexualities or races. As far as I can tell, I might be getting some information, I might have missed some stuff, but as far as I can tell, this series is not particularly diverse. I know that that changes in the next trilogy, but yeah, this follows Fitz as he continues his adventures in the realm of the Elderlings, and some shit happens, and I'm very excited to get to the next book. Alright guys, that's everything for part 1 of my June wrap up. I hope you enjoyed this. If you wish to discuss some more positive representation for Native Americans, please leave me a link down below in the comments. I would love some more positive representation for Native Americans. If you have read any of these series or can help me understand Slaughterhouse-Five, I would love that. I would love to know what the fuck is going on there. But yeah, if you can do that, again, leave me a comment, please. That's everything for today. I hope you have a magical day. Bye!